Well, Joe, you're a long time involved in the club. Tell us a bit about your own story.
5 years involved, and my father before me was involved in it. And the late Michael Mannion came to Belclare as a school teacher, and he played Kildare for 2 years, and he came Belclare and he got principal, and he came up to my father, he said, football is awful slack here, he said. I try to get sevens going. And he said, he went around the parish, and he started the sevens. There were 6 sevens in the parish, and I had to referee the whole lot. But he was so pleased after it. Did they do the same thing secondly? And he said he was so happy. But that started football, but I was involved in 1954, and I was involved in the club ever since. And I was treasurer and carnival and everything, and involved in everything in the parish.
Well, Corofin won the county championship in 1946. They played Ballinasloe and Parkmore and Shoom. And one of the Corofin players, Joe Mannion, got an injury in that game. And the result of that injury was that he died that night. He was dead by the next morning anyhow. So after that, the club went through a very lean, quiet period for 6 or 8 years.
In the 40s and the 50s, the junior championship was highly competitive, and there was some great teams there, such as Carntryla Slashers, Dunmore, Tuam Stars, Milltown, Annadown, Kilconley, Carlistran, Headford, and in the east then you had Ballinasloe and Ahaskra, the Iron Men from Ahaskra, and after that then you had Mycullen, Killallen, Clonbor, and way back Clifton.
We had a good bunch of players, but we could never get going right, you know. You had Tuam Stairs there, you had Dunmore, you had the Army, you had Father Griffins. All great teams that time, great men. You know, Corofin wasn't up to that standard.
Well, I learned my football from a member of the 1946 winning team, actually. That was a man, Frank Craven. He worked in Guinness's. And myself and my brother Mickey were young. We loved to see this man coming home, because he always brought us a new football. And he spent hours teaching us football. And I suppose the next man was Michael Mannion, our teacher. He had a fantastic influence in my life, both as a teacher, I must say, and also as regards to football. Paddy McHugh and Sean Costello. They were 2 men that come to my mind. And of course, Frankie Morris's father was a great influence on the team as well.
Often Saturdays, 10 to 12, I often counted 75 or 80 youngsters there, and he showed them the skills of the game and all that. I thought he was a genius, and that was going on for a long time. That's how the footballers came good.
And what kind of training would Frankie be doing with them, like?
The skills of kicking the ball and passing to one another, all that. The son, yeah.
Is he known where Frank Jr. got it from?
Yeah, that he's sure.
They were great for young people like us. Like, you know, I was 16 when I played senior football for Corofin. I wasn't 17. And you needed those guys to, you know, to guide you along, you know. And it was wonderful at the time. A lot of the training took place in Flaherty's. And that time, we had no dressing rooms to talk out in. I remember talking out in beside the wall in Raftery's field here. And on a good day, the Lord Mercy and Joe, he led us into the shed here at the back.
In the late 50s, a young team began to emerge again in Corofin. And I remember 1957. At that time, a junior club could enter a team in the senior league and still go back and play a junior championship again. So we entered a team in the senior league, and we met Balligare out here in our own pitch in Corofin, and I think it was around May, at the end of May. And Balligare at the time had a very good senior team. They had Matty McDonough, Mick Greeley, Jackie Kyle, Patsy Kyle. There was a man with Emma Reynolds, who was county junior full back that time as well. He was full back for them. And anyhow, we drew with Balligare that evening, and it gave a great lift to Corofin. There was a great buzz around Corofin for a while after that.
Our draw with Balligare here in Corofin I think that's where it started. There was a great buzz after that, even though we were beaten in 58. But when we started off in 59, there was a great expectation and there was a great turnout. It was very hard to get your place on the team.
We thought it was a wonderful thing that time to see 18 cars football match. Where we were cycling most of the time to the matches.
I had to cycle from down in Corofin to Corofin to train, and Paddy Riley and Larry Newell with me, and we cycled 10 miles to Corofin and 10 miles home. We had an advantage over the present day footballers because we didn't have Achilles tendons and we didn't have hamstrings that time. We didn't have them. We didn't know what they were because we cycled so much, and the foot and turf on the bog was great for your hamstrings. you were very fit, extremely fit at that time.
By 1959, we had a nice team put together again, and we played, I don't know, was it 6 games, I think, in the championship, and we won them all. We played Clonborough in the final, and it was a very low-scoring game, and we won by a point.
And it was a wet and dreary evening. No one scored against the wind near the Clonborough and Corofin.
These Clonborough crowds, they were coming like tyrants at you. So that was it. Tommy Burke was the one who wanted to pull us out of trouble there. Really, he was a flyer. Tommy Kavanagh and all that, like, going very well, but there was a million hair to go that day.
It was our second junior title then, because the last one was in 1928, 31 years earlier, and it was a wonderful achievement to win that county title back in windswept Salt Hill in a terrible and atrocious conditions. The captain, Tom Lawless, was a wonderful man at centre back for Corofin, and Lee Mannion was one of the longest kickers of a ball. And Tom Kavanagh, Larry Newell, Paddy Riley, the Nolans.
Great memories. Great lads playing with too. Still remember them.
I will never forget it, and I'll never forget the going to Canavan's and coming to Raftery's here with the cup. You know, there was none of us drinking that time. It wasn't about drink, but it was about meeting the supporters and young people coming up to you and all that. And it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. It was, yeah. And it was great that we got to the senior final the following year. You see, so it was a wonderful achievement for a country team.
Can you think back to the celebrations or what it was like having won it?
I do, and a meal that was in a place called the Odeon Hotel in Galway. I don't know, is it there now? But that's where and then to Bobby Gilmore's with the cup.